Hello, everyone, and thank you for coming on to watch our short client overview here at GFI Global Financial Impact. If you're seeing this video is because you want to know a little bit more about how we help clients financially. So sit back and enjoy this next 10 to 12 minute video breaking down how we help families. But a little bit about the company. Our goal at GFI is to inspire families to dream again. Now, why is that huge? You have a lot of companies. You may have heard of your Merrill Lynch or Charles Schwab, your Edward Jones, great financial institutions. Love them to death. But lots of times when you're with these financial institutions, you have to qualify. And the qualifications to sit down with financial advisors generally is making more than six figures or having $250,000 and up to invest. I literally have clients who they made $213,000 for the year and they were turned away because they didn't qualify to get financial help from some of these financial institutions. So our goal is to help everybody. Doesn't matter who you are, what walk of life. If it's the first time saving, first time investing, if you're a young kid that just got out of college with student loan debt, you're a single parent, someone looking to purchase a house for the first time, who helps them? That's our niche when we say no family left behind. We want to help everybody. And the way we do that is through education. We want to educate everyone financially because if you don't have the education, how are you going to make the right financial decisions? But a little bit more about the company. We are actually your brokerage. You may have heard of some of these names before, your Lincoln Financial or Mutual Omaha, John Hancock, all great companies. But we always say one company can't help everybody. Or as you may know, one shoe can't fit everyone's foot. So that's the power of being a brokerage. Our goal is to be able to use over 25 plus A-rated companies to figure out the best solution for your specific needs. Tailor everything. If you need to take a part of one company and then infuse it with the part of another company to be able to have the right means for your specific needs, we want to be able to do that for you. And we actually have our partnership with Ethos. That's our tech platform, which allows us to be able to work with everyone, have the resources to find the clients the best possible solutions, which allows us to do business in all 50 states, United States, Canada, the Virgin Islands, and over 30 countries. But like I said, the current way of doing things, as we know, is not working. Most people can't qualify to sit down with financial institutions, and because they can't, they don't get financial knowledge. How many people are living paycheck to paycheck that you've probably heard of? $182,000 is the average retirement account. Think about it. Most people are spending $40,000 to $50,000 a year, meaning what? In 2 to 3 years, their whole retirement account is wiped out. So it's not working. And the reason why is most people are not sitting down with financial planners, which means they don't have a financial plan. 67% of people never have made a financial plan. So current way of doing things just isn't working. So the way we tackle that is by teaching people the different rules of money, how money works, what is compound interest, what is the rule of 72. We're educating people how to use these strategies. The rule of 72, take your interest rate divided by 72. That's how long it takes your money to double. So if you're getting 1%, it's taken every 72 years, 4%, 6%, 12%. So you see, the higher your interest rate is the quicker your money gets to compound and grow. But also, it could work for you or against you. Look at a lot of the credit cards out there, especially for the younger generation, 18, 20, 21%. That means most people's debt is doubling every 2 to 3 years, but they're putting their money in a regular bank account that's taking their whole lifetime to be able to double. How are you supposed to get out of debt? How are you supposed to save correctly? So we want to teach people the rules and then show people how money grows. You have your fixed accounts, your bank, your check-ins, your savings, your variable, your 401ks, IRAs, your stocks. Most people have never heard of index accounts. You have index annuities, index in the S&P 500. You have index in insurances. It's a hybrid of both, meaning when the market goes up, your money goes up. The market goes down, your money stays locked in. But understand there's going to be pros and cons. In an index account, for example, a pro is you never lose money. Your money keeps growing. But the con is it's a long-term strategy. It may take 10, 15 years to get to where you want. Or you could have a variable account. You could double your money tomorrow, but you could lose your money tomorrow. So you have to understand those things. I always say you need to learn all the rules of money because it's just like a game. Just like your favorite sports team. If you like football, if you like basketball, baseball, you know all the rules, you have a chance to win. If you like your TV shows, your Wheel of Fortune, your Jeopardies, The Price is Right, you have to know the rules to win. Well, if you don't know the rules of money, how are you ever supposed to win? And then we want to teach people how money gets taxed. You have your tax now, you have your tax later, and then tax advantage, which is a fancy way of saying tax free. Once you start getting tax advantage accounts, all your money gets to accumulate tax free, your Roth IRAs, your insurances, your bonds. Education on how to get here is important because unfortunately, most people have their money in tax later accounts, their 401ks, their IRAs, their pensions. When you need the money the most, they're taxing you the most. So once we educate our clients on these rules, then we could provide the right strategies, show people how to put a grip on their investments so they can move from variable accounts into index accounts. It's all about having that knowledge and information because knowledge is power. This is shown for fixed index annuities where you could have your guarantees, your rate of returns, create your own pension-like income. A lot of people don't know you could create your own personalized social security, your own personalized pension with different kind of annuities and different kind of strategies in general. So it's important that we're teaching people how to use these and for your children. Most people have only heard of a 529 plan, but guess what? If your child doesn't want to go to college, now you have to pay penalties and fees to touch that money again. You may have your brokerage accounts, different accounts. There's pros and cons for all, but we have our $1 million babies, better known as a trust fund baby. Different kind of strategies that you could use that could actually compound and hit on all the different needs for saving money. So it's not just for you, it's also for helping your child and building a legacy for your child, what we want to do when we're sitting down educating our clients. Teaching people from good debt versus bad debt, different kind of debt out there. But even if you have bad debt, we want to teach people different steps on how to eliminate that debt. And why do I touch on this? Because remember, education is key. Don't get me wrong. Here at GFI, we can fix your credit card debt, no problem. But if we don't educate you, what's going to happen in 2 to 3 years? You're going to fall right back into that same hole. So education is key when we're first sitting down with our clients. And then we're teaching people infinite banking strategies, family banking, pretty much what the Rockefellers do, how to eliminate the bank and put your money where the bank puts their money. So why is that important? Because you could eliminate the banks. You could create your own legacy, not worrying about fees. Use compound interest. Have your money growing correctly. Use it for investments, not just being locked in on one thing. It's super important to learn how to use all these strategies. How does that work? Just to give a quick breakdown, some of these family banking strategies, we call them having the perks. You want to have the perks of retirement. You want to have a family bank, leaving a legacy for your family. Have tax-free access to your money, so your money is growing tax-free. And then have living benefits. Remember this. If there's one thing I always love telling people, remember 70% of retirees over the age of 65 will have a long-term care need. 70% of retirees over 65 will have a long-term care need. Why is that important? Because most people, when they get to retirement, they have to use their retirement money just to stay healthy. Well, what if you could actually have different benefits so if something happens to you, you're not going into your retirement money? So you have different strategies that you could actually implement where you could have the best of all these worlds. And then we're talking about getting protection, having yourself insured with having different life insurances. But education is key. A lot of people that are listening to this actual recording, you may have insurance, but do you have enough? Do you know how much you need? That's where we have the dime method. We want to teach people how to be able to have enough protection so God forbid something happens to you, your family is still good to go. And then understand about different kind of insurances that have the living benefits. Why we talk about insurances a lot? Because most people aren't prepared with something were to happen to them on leaving a legacy, passing it to their family. But guess what? It's not just leaving a legacy for your family, it's able to use it for yourself as well. So you want to teach people these different strategies. And for business owners, we sit down with business owners as well, teaching about business write-off, about vesting period, different employee benefits. If you're a business owner, how would you like to be able to write off up to 50% of your taxes into a saving strategy that could benefit yourself and the business? So we want to educate folks, not just everyday folks. We want to help business owners, people who've been saving for years, people who've just started saving. What can we do? And then our last thing is we want to help people with trust, your wills, your legacy planning. This is huge. I always say, look at Chadwick Boseman, Black Panther himself. $3.7 million home. His wife had to pay 1.4 million in taxes and fees and probate just to keep the house. They wanted to leave a legacy, but ended up leaving a liability. And this happens to so many people. So we want to make sure we're not just educating you, we're not just having you set up a financial plan. We want to make sure that financial plan stays into the next generation and generations to come for your family. So, in closing, what is it that we do for our clients? We want to sit down and focus on what we call a financial GPS. And what does GPS stand for? It stands for grow, protect, and save. How do you grow, protect, and save your money correctly and have a financial GPS plan to get where you want to be? Think about it. If you don't use your GPS right now and you had to go across the country, how much time and money and gas would you waste trying to get to an unknown location? That's where GPSs are important. Same thing when it comes to your finances, a financial GPS. If you want to retire, guess what? You need to have a GPS plan to get there, or else you're going to waste time and you're going to waste money. So we want to make sure we can help folks in these different areas. If it's tax advantage strategies, how to build tax-free income for retirement, asset protection and qualified plan rollovers. You have an old 401k, you want to move it so it can keep growing tax-free? Absolutely. How about college education funds? Not only are we planning college funds for your kids, we're also helping with student loan forgiveness. I personally have a client that went from 119,000 down to $37,000 for college education. So it's super important to educate folks on how we can help them with that. Debt management, getting out of debt, your infinite banking and family bank strategies, different kind of life insurances and living benefits like we explained, so you could make sure if anything happens to you while you're living, you're still good to go. Estate and legacy planning, building a legacy, leaving a legacy for yourself, different index growth strategies. If it's your IRAs, your SEP IRAs, your Roth IRAs, different kind of strategies where you don't have to worry about losing money. Our business owner strategies, helping business owners create the best plan for their businesses, and then final expense strategies, because one thing a lot of people don't talk about is what happens when you do pass. Do you have something in play? Only 12% of GoFundMe's ever hit their goal. So we want to make sure that you have a bridge to accessing your funds temporarily while everyone waits for everything else to come in. So that is super huge. And I hope that was great information. So now you know a little bit more on what we do on the client side, sitting down with our clients, giving the education. And the greatest thing we do is we provide free financial consultation. So we're sitting down with the clients, giving them the financial consultation, gather the right information, and then ultimately give the best recommendation with the best companies out here. So for all those that are watching, I hope this has been valuable information to see what we could do when it comes time to sit down with our clients. And for those who are actually looking to partner up with us, make sure whoever sent this video, you could get a little bit more information on the career opportunity on why a lot of our financial agents actually are opening up their own brokerage, and a lot of our part-timers are making between 45 to 50,000 a year on a part-time, just helping people, most likely themselves and their family, get financially educated. So I hope this was great information for you guys, and take care, and we'll see you next time.